Welcome to WikiBros News. We did a little newscast here last week, and we kind of enjoyed it, so we thought we'd do it again.
And this is for everybody listening, this is week ending November 19th. Yeah. Week before Thanksgiving.
There we go.
What are your Thanksgiving plans?
We're going to my dad's house on Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
That's it. And I got a little ham to cook.
Just a little ham?
Yeah.
What do you put on your ham?
Nothing.
Really?
No.
Have you tried like the pop recipe?
No.
Or soda? Some people say, I don't know, weirdos. But no, you pour like 2 liter of like Coke on it, and it soaks in, and it like it's almost like a sauce on it. But
Well,
like,
that's disgusting because Coke is disgusting.
Well, I mean, Coke is. I hate pop in general, but like try it. Like you can use Sprite and stuff too, but the this sugar and stuff actually really sweetens up the ham, makes it really good. You just slow cook it like that.
I just put it in the oven.
Fine, have a dry ass ham.
It's not dry, man.
It will be.
Put the foil over top of it, shove it in there. It's good.
Never listen. All right.
So today we got a few news stories coming to you. We had a guy in Warren County, Indiana,
Oh, a local guy.
that got banned from hunting for life.
Whoa. Did he shoot an eagle?
No, but he was poaching turkeys, and he seems like he's like a
Let's just talk about that for a second.
yes,
What qualifies as poaching?
hunting him outside of season.
Okay. Just wanted to make that clear for people if,
Right.
if
So-
they don't hunt.
He's I mean, the thing is, DNR doesn't fuck around at all.
Oh no.
And this dude obviously loves it. He had they found shotgun shell casings where he had dated them from all of his kills, right?
Why would you date them?
Because he's like a serial killer of the turkey.
Oh, okay. I mean, he couldn't shift over to like a different animal, like that's in season.
Apparently,
Speaking of which, today's opening shotgun season for deer.
Hmm.
I don't know. I know you're not a big hunter, but it is.
yeah. So I guess he just really likes the turkey.
Huh.
But I guess he was like poaching in 7 different states.
Oh, like just it wasn't local. Like he was traveling and doing it. Why was he
Yeah,
driving around doing that?
I don't know.
Thought like he less chance to get caught, maybe.
It was North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Indiana. And
Man, does he just do
So-
nothing but travel and shoot turkeys?
I guess, man.
You know what? While we're on the subject of killing birds, I feel like everybody listening should just like let yours slide after hearing this guy going out murdering turkeys on like a daily basis. It sounds like you kill one chicken and you're chastised, but
I was only chastised by you and my wife.
it's the only people you told. I mean, I'm sure.
That's a good point.
I had to drag it out of you on here.
Yeah, so I guess some of the other states have issued him various fines and suspensions as well, but
A full
this
ban
is-
though.
yeah, it was the first of its kind in Indiana. So that's pretty
Setting a pretty strong precedent.
Yep. So that's that guy. He's kind of an idiot. But yeah, it says when they went to searching all of his, I guess they had a pretty big thing going on. They had surveillance cameras set up and all this stuff.
Wow.
And not only was that he was helping his family do it too.
Oh, well, that might have been what got him caught. The more people you involve in it. I mean, because like,
Well, it was
who would have tipped them off to this?
I'm not sure, but it was said that the investigators used advanced surveillance technologies,
Okay.
and over the course of reviewing their surveillance technologies, that's when they discovered he was helping his friends and family poach these turkeys too.
So did they get bans also, or just him?
I'm not sure. Him for sure. I assume the other ones at least got fines because they were doing that.
How much was his total fines?
It was they were all over the place. He had let's see.
Actually, there is a total here. It says 4,125 in total fines.
Oh yeah,
Man, he really got hit in Massachusetts.
but he lost his hunting license for 8 years in Pennsylvania. Same thing in Indiana is what Connecticut gave him, indefinite suspension. I mean,
Well, that's not banned for life then.
Oh, sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. That would be a definite suspension.
Huh.
But he is banned for life in Indiana.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just wording mistake on the article.
So that was pretty stupid.
Yeah.
So Google, they're still involved in this shit that they've got going on with their privacy.
Oh, this is a lot. Saw this pop up actually in my Google email, and I thought it was BS at first. Like they sent me like an ability to like join the class action.
No shit. I
Yeah,
never got anything.
it went to my junk mail. Shocker, right? Thanks, Google. Trying to be a little tricky.
Who checks their junk
SOBs.
email?
Well, because I do get some things from banks and stuff like for work, but it's like some of it will not it won't come through. Which might Google their Gmail's like really starting to suck with that kind of thing. So I'll get some like actual emails, which is ridiculous. I will get the same email in my inbox from the same person, and then I'll get another email in my junk folder from the same person, but it blocks the second one for whatever reason. Must be something to do with the titling. I really don't know what their
Yeah. I mean
interface is, but
I might check my spam box.
I'll send you. I think I never filled it out because I never really dug into whether or not it was a legitimate link or if it was because it was in my junk folder, right? So you automatically assume this. I don't know if this is valid, but I had the same crap happen with the Facebook thing, and I didn't fill that out, and people were getting like $400 to $500 from the Facebook lawsuit. So and I didn't fill that one out. So I'll send you the link though, the one that I have if it's still valid. They all have dates on how quickly you can join the class action suit.
I gotcha. This deal, it's like $391.5 million is what they've settled on.
Oh, I'm sure that's pocket change to Google.
I mean, that's from the U.S.
Okay.
All right, so they've got 40 states that had filed against them on this.
Right.
So it's going to the states.
Well, let's see. By the time the lawyers take their cut,
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is it sounded to me like it was going to the states themselves, not to the individuals.
not the people. I don't know. The one I got was like individual. Like it was like an
it's probably spam. Somebody.
Well, that's what I thought. Well, this is what was confusing because I looked up and I saw that they had this privacy lawsuit ingrained, right, which the payment should go to the people, not to the state. What's the state have to do with privacy?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but.
Were they angry that they weren't giving them their access to the Gmail?
So what actually happened out of this was that they made it kind of misleading. So and I did it forever too. I shut off my location data, and then you think, oh, okay, so now they can't track you, but they can, and they did.
Well, that's the thing. So I was watching I think it was a debate in Congress or something about this when they were discussing some of these tracking systems, and
I saw that
the Google guy would not flat out say you couldn't be tracked.
Well, that's because the guy asking him the questions is a fucking idiot.
Well, I mean,
like he has no clue. He's like, I've got my iPhone here, not my Google,
right,
my Android or anything. I've got my iPhone here, and he says, so if I walk over there and join my buddies on the other side and making them uncomfortable, will you be able to tell that? He's like, I know he's thinking like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, but he might be like, he's basically saying like, it depends what kind of settings you have enabled on your phone right now.
And it does, but a lot of that's with a lot of the different technology though, right? Like, first off, you go into you have the setting on your phone itself, whether you want to be tracked on certain apps. You have the setting on individual apps. Google's linked to multiple apps inside of itself, and their settings inside each one of their individual apps, or if they're tied together.
Well, you can go to your Google account, and you can delete any data that they have on you. And I mean, you look for it. Took me like 10 seconds to find it on there.
Right.
And I deleted all of my previous information, and it was, I could see where I was at in 2014.
Right. Which I have started doing that with my iPhone itself. Like I've shut off all accessibility to location services.
Right.
And I have it basically give me a pop-up if I want to use it specifically for an app that's requesting it, like Map, like not Maps, but like the GPS service. But like all my other ones, I have it just completely
I'm
shut
just
off on.
saying though that this guy asking him the questions is an
I
idiot,
I mean, yeah,
and that's like
well, you got some
he.
70-year-old guy
I
talking about
know, and
technology, and he has no concept
he
of what he's
didn't
talking
have a
about.
clue that Google didn't make iPhones. I'm pretty sure. Uh, and the guy was like, that. What's his name? The CEO of Google. Like,
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
actually, I might have it in here. It doesn't matter. Anyway, he's like trying to like tell him like I can't tell you that without seeing, and then he keeps coming and he's like, It's a simple yes or no." No, it's not a simple yes or no, idiot.
It
Like
comes down to settings. It really
it's
does.
not a simple yes or no. It's a maybe. Let me see your phone. I'll tell you if we'd be able to track you.
Well, and who in the right mind would want to just come out and give a blanket answer like that,
Right.
without details? And I think the guy did a good job. And don't try, I'm not a huge fan of the way Google tracks things. I think a lot of it, what more concerns me than the tracking is, and I'm sure everybody's experienced this, is the constant listening to your phone. I don't know what technology they've incorporated, if it's an iPhone thing, if it's a Google thing, but like you can have a conversation around your phone, and then suddenly I will get back on one of my apps, and those ads for whatever I was talking about suddenly start popping up on my phone. That's not coincidence. Like it is every time I have a conversation about something. Or, the other thing, like with how Google's all tied together. If you search something on one random computer and you signed into your Gmail account and you search something on that computer, it'll pop up on every other computer that's tied into your Google account. Which,
That
I
makes
get it. It's advertising. I get,
right.
but the listening thing is what I'm more concerned with. Like that seems odd to me.
Yep. Now
So
wonder how much they're videoing you as you sleep.
I mean, you would give that 70-year-old congressman a heart attack if you told him that. Like he's gonna be free. He was worried about Fred over there and his iPhone.
Right. So on top of the 391 million in the U.S., Australia hit them for 60 million.
Ooh.
France had them with 170 million. Yeah. Anyway, a bunch more. But
They're gonna take quite a hit to their portfolio this year.
yeah, they're
I mean, if you tally all the countries up, I mean, even if it's $1 billion, it's still Google.
it is still Google. So, but I'm glad that they finally did something about it.
Right.
Because it is kind of bullshit, but you understand at the same time that that's how it's been. I mean, Google kind of set the model for this. Like, we're going to give you free stuff,
Yeah.
but in turn for that free stuff, yeah, I mean, you can't.
Well, and
they've got to make money somehow.
You don't know if that came down to a lack of understanding of the technology, and people are just now becoming more aware of it, or if it was like, okay, well, everybody's using this technology now. Like, and you said, they set the precedent for it, and now everybody's doing the same thing.
Yes.
So now suddenly it's an issue because everybody's doing it. Well, you should have stopped it when it began.
Well, I mean, like originally back in any of the email, like Yahoo Mail when that was bigger and stuff, Hotmail, these companies had to make money.
Right.
Right. So they would throw up some advertisements on there. It was just Google who really transformed it and said, they've got a way to cater it. So these companies have a lot higher success rate. Right. Which means they're going to pay more money because they getting a higher success rate out of their shit.
Yep.
So, they did that. Now, let's talk about these idiots.
Google or somebody else?
Gosh, man.
Are you on to the next story?
Yes, these environmentalists, who keep throwing shit all over the paintings.
I haven't heard anything about this on the news.
You haven't? Oh, my gosh.
I don't know how I missed this.
Oh, man. I've seen it over the past couple weeks. All these different museums and shit they're going into or art galleries, and they're like throwing like one group last week I think threw like tomato soup on top of some painting and then super glued themselves to it. But I mean, they're all encased, right? There's glass in front of them,
so it's not actually on the painting.
Really damaging it.
Well, yeah, they shouldn't, because you know how many millions of dollars they'd be liable for. My God, they'd be sitting in jail.
Well, they should be sitting in jail anyway and some of them I'm sure are. But this latest one that happened a couple days ago on the 15th, I believe. These people, they're in Vienna, right? and they're throwing some sort of black oily liquid all over some famous painting there. I'd never heard of it, but I'm not an art guy.
So they're throwing oil.
It's called the Death and Life painting. I don't know. Yeah, basically, and that's what they're getting at. They want you to stop drilling for new oil and blah blah blah.
So just to be clear, they're wasting oil.
Yeah, if they
To
didn't
show-
throw the oil,
Right.
then we wouldn't have to drill for more oil.
I mean,
Ugh.
well, this is in Italy, correct? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
that's right.
Okay.
Italy or Austria? Or yeah, I said Italy. It's Austria.
Have electric cars not heavily worked their way into Italy yet?
It's Austria.
Oh, Austria. Oh, okay.
But I don't know. They're all over the place. They're doing it all over, and it's pretty silly. But this one, when they did that, there's no indication that they're even arrested. Like, so maybe they were, maybe they weren't. Maybe somebody took them out and killed them. I really don't know.
Huh.
But yeah, they this group that they're associated with called Last Generation. All right, so they posted pictures and videos of this online and tweeted, "New oil and gas drilling is a death sentence to humanity." Shut the fuck up. God, they want basically what they want is they want the government to step in over there and limit the speeds on their roads to 100 kilometers per hour. So 62 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what they want because they think that will limit CO2 emissions. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
I mean, you think they would just be advocating more for the electric conversions than they would be for this, but
yeah, but
like your goal here is to just get the speed limit reduced. That's your plan.
Well, I mean that's part of it. The other part is they just don't want you drilling for oil at all. Like they.
Well, I mean, even if the plan is to do that, you can't stop overnight. Like there's going to have to be phasing in and out of these.
Well,
they
think that's gonna. They think if they destroy this artwork, it's just bringing attention to it, and more people will jump on with their cause.
No, you look like a bunch of
you're
jobs.
a bunch of fucking idiots. It's not happening. Like, I hope they get like heavy sentences in prison for this.
They won't get to do this, especially since they haven't actually done any real damage to it.
But this one they did. This one was like at an event at this art museum or whatever that was sponsored. It was like a free event,
right?
Sponsored by some oil company.
Okay. I mean, they bigger risk had they actually thrown it on an actual painting, they would have got a lot more attention, I'm sure, because they'd be in court for the massive lawsuit that they would have against them.
And so that's
you guys want to man up and actually do it to a real painting and get yourself in some trouble.
Actually, do some real damage.
Right.
That would be wonderful.
Then you sit in jail.
Yeah, because it is art, and people get crazy about their art. So,
well, I mean, hey, you go and ruin a Picasso, man. So people,
so that's what we're saying. If you want anybody to really take on your cause, you're going to have to do some real damage. Just do it.
Then they can protest from jail.
Yes, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, they can get jail votes.
Yeah. So this just happened yesterday, I believe. This dude, like,
where is this at?
This was in California.
Okay.
They had a bunch of recruits for the police department.
Okay.
Did you see any of this? Where this guy like plowed into him, like driving the wrong way on the road. They were like jogging down the road or whatever. No, it wasn't barricaded or anything, but he just drove on the wrong side of the road.
Oh wow!
And just plowed right into him.
Jeez.
Nobody died out of it, but there's definitely, I think it was 25 people.
Was he drunk or something?
No. He wasn't drunk. He didn't fail the field sobriety test or anything like that. They arrested him, though, because they were saying that he did it intentionally, right?
Well, I mean, you would have to.
But then they released him because they didn't have enough evidence to prove that he did it intentionally.
You're driving on the wrong side of the road, and you drive directly into somebody.
I don't know. There's got to be stuff that's being said that we don't know about. For them to release him on that, they said obviously they can still re-arrest him in the future as they gather more evidence. But luckily nobody died, but I mean, these people,
I mean, would they have changed their stance had one of the recruits died?
I would
I mean,
assume probably, but some of these people's lives are completely altered now. Like there was amputations.
oh, so they got hurt.
Yep.
Oh, they'll definitely be charges
So
pushed. I'm so surprised they let him go.
this one says 5 victims were in critical condition, 4 suffered moderate injuries, and 14 suffered minor injuries.
I mean, even if they don't get him on criminal charges, the recruits can technically go after him for civil charges for civil lawsuits, which I'm sure will happen. I mean, they would have to. If they've got amputations, you're talking lifelong disabilities there now.
Yep. I guess this happened on the 16th.
Huh.
Man, I thought it was just
That was just a couple days ago.
right. I thought it was on the. Well, I guess the 17th is what I was picturing, but yeah. So that's pretty messed up.
Wasn't drunk or anything. He even said he even passed the breathalyzer test.
Yep.
So is crazy going to be his defense?
I don't know. I mean, there's something that had to have happened there where they let this guy go. He must have, said, "Oh, I have a medical condition or something."
I don't know what
out.
lawyer you have, but
they,
give us his number.
There were people that said that some of the recruits that were in the front of the group that was jogging,
right?
They got out of the way. They saw it coming. They said they heard him accelerate, and they jumped out of the way. But I mean, it was a line of 25
I mean,
people,
you would think going the opposite side of the road that all of them would have seen it like at that point. But
yeah.
I mean, I guess if there's if they're running in order, maybe there's
it was a line. I think they were like maybe 2 wide, 3 wide, maybe.
Huh.
And so they were just
That's crazy.
Yep. So
now I'm not thrilled to see this next article, but
dude,
we got to talk about it.
So we're going to talk about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I actually kind of dig Taylor Swift.
I don't know you as a person anymore.
I really do. Like I liked her when she was
okay with she's country music.
I liked her when she was there. Now I remember my wife and I we were watching one of the award ceremonies of some sort
for dancing
for country music, and when she was in country music still, right?
Okay.
And then I don't know what she was doing, but like they made it like so they had like rain coming down on top of her, and she was like slicking her hair back like this, and I mean, it looked like it wasn't country. It wasn't country at all. I mean, we were like, what the hell? Right after that is when she kind of switched over to pop,
right?
Which pretty much all new country and pop, I think, sounds the same to me.
A lot of it does, yeah.
So anyway, but I get down with some of her songs. I'm okay with them. They're pretty catchy, and I learned one of them.
Are you gonna sing for us?
Man, I don't even remember what it was now. It was something about long lost lovers, blank space.
Okay.
Yeah, because my daughter and I were like gonna sing this song.
No, okay.
Right,
okay.
for her TikToks or whatever. So I spent forever on my drive to work like playing this song over and over and over again. Like Spotify is gonna tell me that's my number one song.
It's gonna come up on your higher list.
I was trying to learn the words to the song, and I was telling my wife about it because I said, "Hey, I think I feel like at least the first segment of it, I've got that down, right?" But I'm like, man, it doesn't really make sense. Now, why I didn't just look up the lyrics to the song, I don't know. But I'm like, it doesn't even make sense. She's like something about all of her Starbucks lovers or whatever. I'm like, what the hell is a Starbucks? You know what I mean?
Is this a case of your blue awning?
Yes. And
for those of you that don't know,
and
Justin sang the wrong lyrics to a song for a long time. What was the what song?
It's that
Who
one,
Are You?
Yeah.
And you kept saying you kept
yes.
you kept thinking they were saying blue awning. How old were you? You were young though, right?
I mean, I'm 17, 18.
Oh, okay. I feel like there's a lot of songs nowadays. It's harder for that to happen because the lyrics are like out everywhere. But back when like we were growing up, you had to like write down or like unless you bought like the CD, this is dating us. If you had to buy the CD where it had the actual lyrics on the inside, that was the only way you could find the lyrics until the internet became a thing.
But, I mean, this song right here, I could have found the lyrics to, and I just didn't because I thought I knew what they were. But when I was asking Billy about it,
you've got Spotify, like it shows the lyrics to the songs.
What's it say? I've got something about Starbucks lovers. I don't know. And the actual lyric is, "I've got a long list of ex-lovers,"
Yes,
or something
yes,
like
yes,
that. And I
yes.
thought it was saying like
Just kind of
this.
how they blend the music together.
Yeah. Anyway, so
So this
Taylor's
is actually about
she's
Ticketmaster.
well, okay, but it's because she's like blowing up right now. Did you see this? She just released this album,
Okay.
and for the first time in history, the top 10 songs in the whatever, the Hot 100 or whatever it is,
Right.
she held every one of those songs.
Every
Every one.
top 10.
Spot number 1, spot number
Holy
2.
cow.
Yeah. The Beatles had done it in the past where they had like, I think like 6 maybe. And then somebody else, I recognize the name when I read it. Maybe Drake or something. Is that a
Okay.
guy?
Yeah. You don't know who Drake is.
I don't know any of
He's
that.
a rapper, but yeah.
I think he had like 9 of them or 8 of them maybe at some point.
Okay.
Anyway, and she had 10 for 10 on that.
Wow.
So
It's impressive.
anyway, and now she's going on tour, and it's the first time she's toured since 2018.
Right.
And Ticketmaster just fucked up, man. They couldn't handle the load from all the people trying
Logging
to get
in.
tickets, and so people are frustrated as all get out because they spent hours trying to get these tickets. And
Right.
but you got to expect you will have the bots in there getting
Yeah.
the tickets so that they can resell them, which such horseshit.
But it's an issue on a lot of those because like if you're trying to get good seats, a lot of that's every time you go to order a ticket, it's set on a timer, and it's
Right.
like and if it starts crashing you out every time, you got to restart the whole process, and there's a lot of stuff to fill out for that.
Yep.
So it's like you can wind up with good seats when you get there, and then by the time you're getting the nosebleeds because they're all locked you out.
We did. Billy ordered tickets to somebody. I don't know. Some country guy. The one that was playing outside of Kingman. Was that Luke Bryan or?
I think so. Yeah.
Something? We were in. Where were we? Cancun, maybe. Yeah, we were in Cancun at the time the tickets went on sale.
Okay.
Right. So she goes and we're sitting there at breakfast, and she's got her phone out, and our internet was spotty at best.
Right.
Right. And so she ordered the tickets. It didn't go through. Like it was just like a blank screen, basically. So she orders again, and then she orders again. She ends up walking away with like 8 tickets to this show or something stupid like that.
She have to sell them out when she got them.
Yeah, she sold some to other people and gave some away, I think. I mean,
it's a mess.
But yeah, and it wasn't their fault. It was just our shitty internet's
right.
fault. But anyway, yeah, so that's what's going on with Taylor is that Ticketmaster really just screwed people over on this because their site could not handle the demand of all the people that were.
Sounds like they're going to upgrade their systems a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think had it been anybody else, probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal. I mean, I think the only one probably, my guess is, the only one that would really compare to that is like when they release Garth Brooks tickets.
Yeah.
And that's a mad rush. But at least with Garth's, his are set up so it's one price. It
That's
doesn't.
Nice.
You might get a better seat than somebody else. You're still paying the same price. It's pretty rad. I like that.
I mean, that's cool. The only downside is you can't guarantee yourself better seats.
No,
I mean, in general, then it really does come down to timing. So, I mean, something like that with Ticketmaster, that would be even more frustrating because you could log on and have like front row seats, and then if it crashes on you and you lose them, now you're sitting in the nosebleed sections.
But I think that's why Garth does that is because he knows his shows are all going to sell out.
Right.
No people, if he listed them for $2,000, to get up front, people will pay the $2,000.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that can't afford that still want to see him, so he makes it one price. And
I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, if you luck out and it's just a flat, you'll never go to another concert that's like that.
I am not a concert guy at all.
Really?
I think no.
Oh man,
I think it's a waste of money. I can put the song on anytime I want to listen to this band.
It's more of an experience thing, though.
I know, and it's just not for me. I've been to a few concerts. I went to Creed, and that I was glad I got to do that. And I saw George Strait this last year.
That would have been kind of a cool one. Not so much.
I was like, I've got to see this guy because he was like going between like Georgia and going up to Michigan or something. So he like randomly like stopped, in Kentucky or maybe I don't remember. I think it was right on the other side of the border. So I was like, I got to do it. Like,
Right.
I might not have another chance to
Yeah.
do this.
Yep.
And we went down, and I mean, it was good. He played all of his good songs and stuff, but I mean, he's got so many of them. Like every song he plays
It's
is
a hit.
number one hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But his was just straight up like he had 4 different sections of the stage. He comes over here, he stands there, he sings a song. He gets done with that, he walks over to the other part of the stage, stands there, sings that song. There was there was such small amount of interaction with the crowd. Like he was just singing the song, which that's what he does, right?
Right. Right.
And so you kind of know that getting into it, and it was cool. But then at the same time, we were like, man, let's bug out.
But that's the thing, though, right? It's like I think it depends on who you go to see. Because I've been to some amazing concerts, and I've been to some just like eh. Like some of my favorite concerts that I've ever been to were like smaller venue concerts.
I hear that Aaron Lewis.
I've seen him twice.
I hear
and it's amazing.
incredible.
It was over in a city center over in Champaign, Illinois, and it was literally like a room of maybe like 100 people. And you would have like, and my buddy worked as a bouncer at the time and gave me like front of the room passes to go in like the little box, and literally like 2 feet from him, and he's just like up there, and he's talking with the crowd. It's very interactive. He sang some of his new country stuff, some of like his old Stain.
Dude,
That was great. Like, I would still pay to see him
do
again.
you know that new song of his that came out here recently? Am I the only one?
Yep.
Gosh, man, that's like my new favorite song right now.
He's got a lot more that came out on that album. That are good.
I just last week had started listening to the actual album of it, because I just saw that song pop up one day, and I'm like, man, I like Aaron Lewis, and
Yeah.
so I played it, and I was like, man, that song that's really good. It's really catchy. I like it a lot.
He's actually touring again. He's playing over in Illinois, I think, again.
Right.
This year. Another one I went to that was very small venue that was really neat. We went to a church over in Indiana. My friend Jeremy and Chris and I got tickets, but it was to see B.B. King play, and it was right before he died.
Oh. Well, gee.
I mean,
it's good that you made it.
No,
that.
it was if you don't like blues music, like you would enjoy it, but like it's pretty cool. Like he gets up there and plays, and he'll tell stories, and it was just something different. Like it wasn't like I've been to like a lot of rock concerts because I like a lot of heavy metal and stuff like that. But
And trumpets.
I mean, yeah, they had trumpets. Yeah. It's blues, man. Like they can whatever thing. I mean, it's
Man,
mostly guitar. It's him sitting down playing guitar.
I cannot get into that music.
Really,
at all.
it's not something you get like excited about. You just kind of sit back and relax.
No,
and,
you definitely couldn't get excited about blues. You got to be like,
I'm depressed.
my life. Oh, let's listen to blues.
No, it was actually way more entertaining than I expected. Jeremy was the one who was like big into the blues. I'll listen to some of it, but like it's not like something I'm playing in my car when I'm driving down the road. But the concert itself was actually entertaining because he told like stories from the road as he's singing, and that was what made it funny, right?
Yeah.
Like, and he'd play a song, tell a 5-minute story, and play another song, and it was just entertaining, and it was literally like right before he died, so it was kind of cool.
What do you think about our plant?
I mean, I'm into some shrubbery, but I don't know. We'll have to. I like how you're trying to spruce up the set here. I feel like we need a background on the back here. Or maybe the plant's too close.
I don't know.
We'll get it worked out.
It was sitting here, and I was like, hey, this is just a wide open white spot. Why not throw this?
Yeah. I mean, your wife's only got like 600 backgrounds in here. I thought we could put something on the back of us.
Yeah.
Justin's wife's a photographer.
But I thought that was good. I liked it.
I mean, hey, maybe every week we can like add like a new prop.
Add?
Yeah.
So pretty soon it's
just the whole wall, like one thing pinned, and it'll just be piling up on top of us before we're done.
Join us next week for the bowling pin that will sit next to us.
Hey, that's right. We pin that on the wall. That'd be awesome.
Pin the pin
on the wall.
So you had these missiles.
We may have to save a couple of these for the next newsreel.
You had these missiles fly into Poland.
Oh.
Did you hear about this?
I briefly saw this pop up on the news.
It was like it was going to be World War III type of shit because 2 people died. They were in Poland, which is a member of NATO, and their Russian did it, right? They were Russian missiles, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's on the verge of, because if if Russia attacked, even though it was like 2 miles inside of their border, 2 people died. So it's not like they were like aiming for like a major metropolitan area, right?
Right, right.
So this wouldn't have been intentional, but still, people were like, "Oh, we're getting ready for World War III because if you attack a NATO member, then all the rest of them are going in. We're gonna have World War III here."
Yeah.
Um, if it's an accident, it's not really an attack. Um, but then it wasn't even Russia's missiles. It was Ukraine's defense missiles.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's going to be on edge right now
I
with
mean,
what's going
it
on. So
sucks,
I
right?
totally understand
It
that.
sucks for the people, those 2 people that died, and we'll have no idea what their names are, what they did with their lives, nothing. We have no clue. They're just a subpart in this little story, right?
It's depressing.
And these were actual people who had families and shit like that, and it sucks for them. But it was like the end of the world when Russia did it, and turns out it was Ukraine. And it was like, well, they're sorry. They messed up. Move on with our lives.
Casualties of
we
war,
still
I
have
guess.
our lives.
Right. Put it on the back burner.
Yeah. So, anyway, there's that, and
I think the last one we should do is probably this one on FTX.
yeah, well, that's the last one we got.
Oh,
anyway.
okay.
And you're gonna have to walk me through that because I'm not a big crypto guy, so I don't really know much about it. I tried reading into it. I mean,
But basically, there's several of these crypto exchanges. There's Coinbase, FTX was one of them. There's some others like Robinhood and that don't hold as much of a stake. But basically, what happened was this was a run on the bank. Okay, just like a regular bank. So what happened was these people, some info got leaked on their balance sheets, and there was some rather large variances that caused room for concern. And this got put out on the internet, and everybody rushed and yanked all of their cryptos out of FTX, and it completely tanked them.
well, okay, so what I had gathered out of it was that the dude had this crypto exchange set up. His girlfriend or wife or whatever also had some other company set up, and he was borrowing money that other people had put into their cryptos.
Yeah.
So it's not even his to mess with, but he was borrowing that, using that as money to get loans for this other company.
Well, and what part of this was they have they were basically paying you interest for keeping your money with them. So a lot of them, like BlockFi, had a thing going on with this, and there's been some even they're offering credit cards if you invest your crypto with them. But basically, they're holding it, right? But they're using your money and then they're investing it. Well, he wasn't doing it the legal, a legal way. Basically, he was yanking it from one company and using it to another, and that apparently came out on their balance sheets, and it got leaked, and that's how.
Yeah,
It all
now
crashed.
he's like running from the law or something.
Well, they're trying to recover some money, but I mean, most of these people are just they're out of luck. I mean, you're talking millions upon millions of dollars lost, and a lot of these people will never.
Yeah,
I mean, something happened earlier this year, not with FTX, but Luna had a similar crash happen this year, and people just lost their
Never even heard of it.
Luna. It was a pretty high dollar coin there for a while. It was like $10-12, I think.
Yep. But it sounded to me like this dude's like hanging out in the Bahamas or something right now.
Oh, I'm sure he is hiding away.
Like what's his face? McAfee.
Oh, oh yeah. We forgot we talked about him.
Right.
The concern here now is this has caused fear with everybody else in the crypto industry, obviously. So
I don't really trust. I don't really trust any of it anyway. I think you've got a lot of ground you could stand on with Bitcoin, and I don't know a lot about them. But most of these other ones, and I mean, I've made money on them.
yeah.
But I think it's bullshit. I mean, like we're trading nothing. We're just trading air. Just it's speculation and it's
programming.
Shit.
It's programming is what it is.
It's horse shit is what it is.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's nothing because we're still basing our money in Bitcoin, right?
Right.
It's still based on the dollar. Even though it's not on the dollar,
Well, I mean,
right?
the overall
do
goal.
I misunderstand that? Because at
No.
any point in time, I can sell this in exchange for dollars.
You can.
So-
The long term is they're trying to make a permanent digital currency that is going to move away. And initially, Bitcoin was created to hedge inflation, right? But the goal. But now you're getting into the problem people get into is they start buying into all these like
Doge and
all
shit.
altcoins,
Yeah.
and granted,
And
some people have made some decent money on them, like
Yeah,
and become millionaires even. But the stable ones, you're looking at like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the only two super stable
Right.
ones right now. But even
And
their fluctuation is ridiculous.
yeah, it's crazy fluctuation, but I mean it's like everybody's getting these what do you call them? Uh the coins that they all use now. Like every different company's making their own coin.
Oh yeah,
What's that
yeah.
called? Like NFT or something?
Well,
What's that?
the NFTs are like digital pictures,
Or something.
but this is you will see this, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this will turn into something because what's gonna end up happening and what's starting to is, and it makes sense for musicians. They are basically they're selling the digital rights to their songs, and they can. So rather than going through a record company, they can sell their rights to songs out there here and art. But the other thing with this too is like when it was first happening, there was some concern that it could be a really easy way to launder money because something like art, you could literally go and pay whatever you want for a piece of art across the world and pay any obscene amount of money and nobody's going to question it, right? Because it's art. It's all subjective to how much you're willing to pay for it. So it's an easy way to launder money. So the thing is every transaction can be tracked, which is the benefit to it, but the only downside that this is going to turn into is like literally everything you do, everything you purchase, if we ever move to this, is going to be tracked all the time.
Well, I know, and that's why I think the U.S. government is floating around some ideas here, like of attempting their digital dollar, and they're
China did this too.
I know.
China, interesting enough, banned crypto and then tried to create their own digital
Right.
currency.
And U.S. is going right down that path too, but that one scares me.
Well, and
that one scares me a lot because
I hate to say this.
I despise the government knowing. I mean, I'm not doing anything wrong, but it's none of their goddamn business.
Well, this is the issue you're going to run into.
And if they
it's gonna happen
decide
in the future.
that I said something they didn't like on this podcast, then now I'm cut off. They take my money. They cut me off from doing anything. I mean, they can. If we're running on a digital dollar and the IRS is in charge of this with all their 87,000 new agents, that's probably what they're doing. But I mean, it's horseshit.
Well, they won't miss a dime
off from anything.
Not even that. They won't miss a dime. There won't be any cash payments on anything anymore. So you won't even be able to like do, and you're not technically supposed to do it, but like contractors doing side work and stuff for people.
Yeah.
Like, there won't be any side work because if there's digital currency, you're going to get paid. You're going to get billed for every dime.
Yep.
You can't. There will be there's no way to
paying when you pay your your teenage babysitter.
Yeah,
they're
gonna get taxed on that money. Like there's no. It's like we're gonna have to go back to bartering with goods and services because you can't do that.
I get it, but I don't like it. I just think that all these other crazy ones out there besides Bitcoin and like say maybe Ethereum.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean, it's just junk. I don't like it, but I don't know enough about it, so maybe I'll be wrong.
The thing with it is, there's a lot of things that are being built on those platforms, like especially Ethereum, which is why I think it's going to become bigger. But it's such a gamble putting your money into the smaller ones, and everybody's, every new coin's the big thing, right?
Yep.
So save your money.
So anyway, that's what we got for this news week. I don't know. I've got nothing.
Nothing. Well, it was kind of fun doing something a little different, and we'll do a few more of these and continue. We may do one other type of podcast just to mix in with these, just for some, alternate content and see what catches on.
All right. So anyway, for WikiBros, I'm Justin.
This is Kyle,
and we'll see you soon.